Professor Andrew Rue from Stellenbosch University says the decision by the US seems to be more political, saying the economics behind it doesn't make sense.
If we think about South Africa's exports to America, it's about, barely 7% of our total export revenue. That's an important 7%. What's less clear is whether 30% tariffs applies to everything, or does it exclude some sectoral arrangements, such as platinum, titanium, other raw material? And that needs to be sorted out. If we have a look at his argument that he wants to punish us, as it were, or force us to change our hand, because in his words, we impose very unfair tariffs on goods imported from America, doesn't make sense either. The bulk or the average tariff, if you like, that we impose upon American imports into South Africa is less than 7%, so less than 6%. Then the derivation of the 30% doesn't make sense either. He says it's based on looking at the trade surplus a country has as a percentage of our exports to America. And that percentage doesn't give us anything near 30%. It's much lower. So the economics just doesn't make sense. The argument there doesn't make sense. The whole tone of the letter he wrote, words such as, and I'm trying to read here, United States, the number one market in the world by far. And it refers a bit later on, if for any reason you decide to raise your tariffs, whatever the number you choose to raise will be added onto the 30% we charge. These tariffs are less than many years. So it goes like very odd language, very naive, and obviously very arrogant.
AgriSA says although the agricultural sector will survive this, it warns that the nuts industry that exports to the US, 22% of its produce will be the hardest hit.
I would say as agriculture, we will survive, but industry-wise, there's meaningful impact on the short term. It's easy to say we need to diversify markets. In agriculture, it's not with a blink of an eye that you're going to diversify that market. It's going to take some time. So we need to have a different way. And I like the idea of, or the way that the minister said this. We kind of need to reset and rethink the way that we look into exports into South Africa.
The Department of Trade, Industry and Competition reiterates what the presidency said about the inaccuracy of the calculation of balance of trade.
The minister has reinforced that the interpretation of the trading data from the US is not the same between South Africa and the United States. The bottom line is that the US sees a trade deficit of $9.1 billion, which we in South Africa don't agree with. We believe that figure to be a lot lower at just $1.2 billion US. And that is, at the end of the day, what the data tells us. Having that, taking that into consideration, the tariff line should be a lot lower than the 30% that the United States has proposed.
Diabosito, SABC News, Johannesburg.